Hello. I feel kind of naked today because I don't have my guitar. I played too hard the other night and my thumb is kind of raw. So I got out the guitar to, go through a song and it's like, ooh, can't play. Tried a band-aid and it deadened the sound, so we'll just skip it for today, which I'm sure is all right with you. Instead, we will talk about MLMs, or multi-level marketing, and their constant presence at craft shows. Um, oh yeah, I'm Cher. I'm a musician who has not one but two small businesses. I guess you'd call them micro businesses. They're like one person. I'm self-employed. Yeah, one is that I buy and sell used and rare books, and the other is a new business, relatively new, of sewing and making craft things and selling them. Um, yeah. Anyways, in our yeah, excuse me, that's my dog. Um, I live in a small town, small city, technically, in a pretty rural corner of Ohio, and there are no craft shows without MLMs that I'm aware of. As far as I know, there's no like handmade shows. Um, we just have to set up shoulder to shoulder with the MLMs. Um, I grew up with MLMs. I'm not young. Back in my day, it was parties. I never went to a Tupperware party, but we were always led to believe that Tupperware was superior to the plastic containers that you could buy at regular stores, department stores. But I never even saw Tupperware. Now I have, but back in the day, no. I mean, we didn't have Tupperware parties. We had um, Princess House, which was crystal. Um, and there was a group of people who it went around the group. They all had parties and they all invited the exact same people, and you went. Well, it was a party. Hey, who invited me to parties? Okay, I've been to parties, but I'm not that much. I'm not that sociable. But anyways, you I would go. I would look through that little booklet for the very cheapest thing or something I thought I could actually use. I'm not their target demographic for most of these parties. Um, and I bought a butter dish. I bought the butter dish twice because it broke the first time. I liked the butter dish. Don't remember anything about it, but I know I bought that butter dish twice. Um, I remember being invited to a very embarrassing lingerie party. Sexy lingerie. It's like, right. I know people invite anybody that they think might buy something, but I was I was embarrassed. I wasn't interested. Um, oh, and there was the time I actually hosted a party, a Sarah Coventry. It was jewelry. I still have my Sarah Coventry necklace. It was a little locket. I think all I have left is the locket. Little silver locket. It's probably black by now. Um, yeah, I remember I talked to this person at the fair, and next thing you know, I'm having a party. I invited my friends. which were a few, female friends and a few gay guys. I think my party person was a little flabbergasted with the group that I assembled. I fed them appetizers and everything, though, and people bought a few things, not very much. It wasn't her most lucrative deal ever. She never called me again. No one ever pressured me to try and sell stuff. I bet she didn't follow up on any of the party guests. But yeah, and we always had an Avon lady. I don't think Avon was an MLM back then. We have now a storefront downtown Tiffin that has Avon on the shelf, and you just go in and you buy it right off the shelf. So I was very surprised to find out they were an MLM. Again, no one ever pressured me to try and sell it. Well, to me, the word pyramid schemes meant chain letters. chain, and everybody told me they were horrible, but I couldn't see, every now and then I'd get one and it'd be like, send a recipe to the person at the top of this email and then send it out to, your 10 friends and put your email, real mail, put your name on the bottom, and by the time, you get to the top of the list, you're going to get like 300 recipes in the mail. That sort of thing. I didn't understand why pyramid schemes were bad when all it was recipes. I never got any. I think I faithfully sent them out to whatever friends I had. I never made it all the way through. But then I was gone by the time the online MLM thing started, or just wasn't in their demographic if it started before I moved away. Can't even tell you what year I moved away in. Early 2000s. Anyways, I totally miss LuLaRoe. I never heard of LuLaRoe. I even on a good day, I don't like social media that just scrolls and you're supposed to aimlessly sit there and look at it. I like YouTube. Is YouTube social media? I spend way too much time on YouTube, but I like Reddit, but haven't done much with Reddit lately. I always thought of Reddit as the anti-social media. So, come on. Yeah. Anyways, so I may not have. The first time I heard of LuLaRoe was when the documentary came out, and I was shocked. It was an eye opener. I didn't even know there was such a business, and then looking into it further on YouTube, I discovered that brands Avon that I was familiar with had the MLM sort of structure, and I started subscribing to Hannah Alonso's channel where she talked about different multi-level marketing, and started recognizing names when I saw them out in the wild. Sensi is always at the flea market. I mean, that lady must have a booth there. It's always in the same place. I don't ever remember not seeing her. So she's a standard at the flea market. I would see stuff at garage sales. In fact, I went to one garage sale just because it advertised LuLaRoe, because I wanted to see what the clothes were like. When I asked my daughter if she had heard of LuLaRoe, she said, "Oh, it's the ugliest leggings." But I wouldn't be interested in that. Yeah, so Yeah, the first time I ever really saw LuLaRoe at the garage sale that advertised it, they had it off by itself, and I was too embarrassed to go over and look at it because I thought somebody might talk to me and try and sell me something, and all I wanted to do was see what it looked like because I kept hearing about it. Yeah, so then I was at a charity garage sale, and there was a rack of LuLaRoe that someone must have donated, and it was marked, had a sign, LuLaRoe, and whatever the price was. So at that point, I was able to finally see the buttery soft LuLaRoe leggings in the flesh. And yes, it was very bright colors, not me. Um, and I'd like to say now that the word buttery does not imply soft to me. When I think of butter, I think more of, well, a greasy sort of texture. I mean, if it's butter that sat out so that it's softened, like you're making cookies. Cookies, you really want it cold though, don't you? Well, you're making something that once softened butter. I would not want that texture on my skin. It's no. I don't know why they call them buttery soft. Huh? I have like burned myself while cooking and put some butter on. Don't remember it doing any good. Maybe I should put it on my thumb. Anyways, I finally saw them in the wild. And that's my very, very, very limited experience with any sort of MLM whatsoever. When I did actually come in contact with them, I didn't know what they were. Um, oh yeah, the Amway. Um, our my in-laws became Amway dealers for a period of maybe a year, and they were totally gung ho. Uh, they came and told us all about it. They showed us the catalog, of course. My husband said, "Find something to buy." The stuff was expensive, and even though it's supposed to be the best in the world, yeah, I I bought laundry detergent and I didn't notice it being any better. And I would have just rather bought my regular laundry detergent. Um, yeah, but they went to conventions and it was like a religious experience. I think, in fact, I think religion is a big part of it. I think religion is a big part of lots of MLMs, from what I understand. Anyways, it was creepy. But then they quietly never mentioned it again after the push in the beginning. So I'm imagining that they didn't get much response from people. People politely buying some laundry detergent just because. Now I can understand why a person who didn't know would think that, starting a business with whatever would be a good idea. A person, I say, it's usually women and it's usually housewives. I'm sure that there's other people, but you want to bring in a little bit of money or a lot of money, whatever. You want to have a business that's flexible so you can spend time with your family. Well, not spend time with the family, but be taking care of the family while you're doing this. And I know that some people have real jobs and decide to sell on top of it. Um, when they talk about corporate jobs, I don't have much experience with corporate jobs. I don't think Tiffin is a big corporate town. I'm sure there are things, and I know that people there are plenty of working women. There are plenty of women who trained, in fields, and you know, I can understand though why a person would want to start selling whatever to make some money on the side, or to, really get into it and have a career. I mean, I understand wanting to be your own boss. I am self-employed. And not everyone can hand make things or wants to hand make things. There. So they feel like they're walking into this established business with products that, are advertised, not advertised, but word of mouthing. And, all they have to do is slip in there and do what everybody else does, and they can support themselves. I can see that part. I can see getting into it. If it were me, I would spend a bunch of money getting started and then fail right away. And I'm not very good at giving up. So I can see how people get a lot of money invested and they just keep thinking, well, if I keep doing it, it will succeed. I Yeah, but I wonder if there are legitimate business where you can buy and sell something, buy it wholesale, sell it retail, but without having a storefront. Yeah. But there must be. There must be actual legitimate opportunities for people to start businesses buying things that are already made and selling them.